Hey, ladies, thank you so much for doing this interview. It's really, an honor for us, but it's part of our mission to help other women out there see what's really possible for professional women, that we don't have to make these serious trade-offs, that you can rise in your career and excel. And so thank you. You guys have all just recently graduated from CWU. I'm excited to talk with you. So why don't we just go around real quick and just, introduce yourself. Jeannie, let's start with you. Just like, who are you and what do you do?
Sure. So my name is Jeannie. I work in a large Research One institution in a leadership position, commute about an hour and a half each way every day. And I have 2 little kids at home and a spouse.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeannie. Dana.
Okay, I'm Dana, and I work in the mortgage business, managing a team, and I work remotely, and so does my whole team. So that's been fun to learn about. And I also have 2 children and a husband.
Awesome. And Cammie.
I am Cammie. I am a mother of a little 5.5-year-old that's going into 1st grade. And then in my professional life, I am in a leadership role for a security technology division of a major global corporate organization. And I head up all of our business development efforts globally.
Right. That's right. Cammie, and do you all of you guys travel, or is Cammie our traveler? Because I know you travel quite a bit, Cammie.
No,
right?
my entire team travels. We do all operate remotely, which is really, really nice for the flexibility for when we are home, but we are up in the air, pounding the streets.
A lot. You guys are. What about you, Dana? You don't have to travel that much?
No.
Maybe a little bit, right?
A little bit. Yep. I have a lot of flexibility over when and where and how much.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, got it. Awesome. Just to give some flavor. Okay, that's awesome. Well, let's do this, guys. Let's just start again in that same order, if you don't mind. Jeannie, why don't you tell us a little bit about results? Let's start with, where are you at now? We want to hear about that. And then we'll get to, maybe where you were at before you started with Corporate Women Unleashed.
Sure. So right now I wake up in the morning and I feel whole and complete. And I'm not stressing out about how am I going to figure out school drop-off, lunches, and work. I feel like a different person when I wake up in the morning. I'm making it to my class. I'm just calmer. I feel more in control than I ever have before.
Oh my gosh. And Jeannie, we'll get into that in a minute, but you've done some other things before you came here, so I'm excited to dig into that. So calm and in control. We hear that a lot. What about you, Dana?
Whenever I came to CWU, I was at a point where I felt like I was not my best self at any point of the day. I wasn't my best self at work. I wasn't my best self at home with my kids. Or with my girlfriends or anything. It was like I couldn't give my full self to anybody because I was so scattered, and it was mostly in my mind, So my word was clarity, that I wanted clarity to be able to see all of these different pieces and be all I can be when I'm at work, but then be fully present when I'm with my family. And so I now have that. I've gained that ability to see everything clearly, and it's amazing.
You're no longer playing whack-a-mole, just running from one
Yes,
area.
right.
I love that. That's so awesome. Oh my gosh, these are beautiful. Cammie, what about you?
I think I came into the program for unique reasons compared to a lot of the other women in it.
Yep.
Where my professional side of the house, things flourish. It's a very comfortable environment. Everybody's embracing everybody on our leadership team or middle management or whatever, right? And so worked with an awesome dynamic group. On my private life, there was a lot of things going on that I was just fearful would impact my ability to continue to level up in my career. And so how do I deal with that? How do I not sacrifice the success I've had in my career and keep growing in my career?
Oh, I love that.
So I've been able to very rationally understand what's going on and take different strategies that I've never done before in my personal life to make perfect sense of it. And now I feel like I'm in control and calm, just as Dana and Jeannie have said.
I love that word, calm and control. For me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, that's freedom. Like when I'm in control, now I feel like, okay, now I'm at the head of my life and I'm creating what's authentic to me, versus there's all these demands on me and I'm just trying to make everybody else happy or just trying to get through the day or whatever it is. So I love those words. What about where you guys were at before? And like, is there any specifics? Because I know for myself, I was always on an airplane working 70 hours a week. Do you know what I mean? It was very, very tangible to me what needed to change. What about you guys? Was it hours? Was it just unable to disconnect? Anxiety? Like maybe, you know, Jeannie, tell us what was going on for you there.
Sure. For me, it was very clear that I was giving my best self to my work.
Okay.
They got the best of me for the last 7.5 years. And in those 7.5 years, I had 2 kids. My daughter is going to kindergarten in September. And I remember waking up one morning and being like, oh my God, like I have not given them anything, even though we wanted to have these kids. Like I was just not there.
Yeah.
So it's really hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a hard one, Mama. That's a hard one to wake up and have that realization and go, damn, I'm missing this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you for sharing that. Dana, what about you?
Yeah, mine was number one problem was hours, number of hours I was working, and then getting in the program and realizing that so much of that was of my own doing, because I thought I had to put in X amount of hours. And then like Jeannie, having this realization that my 2 little kids are not getting hardly any of the hours of my day, you know, so that was the number one thing for me. And fortunately was able to make a shift of that pretty early in the program. So that was a big win.
Yeah. And that was a good one for you, Dana, because again, I want to highlight you work at home. So it's
Right.
not like, you know, you have this big long commute, you can't get home, you're
Right.
stuck in traffic or whatever. Like all you have to do is like walk into the other room to be with your
Mhm.
children. But I'm so glad you shared that, because that is the whole compulsion that we have as driven women. It's just one more email. Let me get my inbox finished. Let me get back to this person. So we're doing it very often because we don't know how to communicate, how to put up boundaries when enough is enough. Right. So what a beautiful share. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. What about you, Cammie? So Cammie, for you, it was really personal life changes that was putting pressure on, what is it? Can I stay in this role? Like what's going to happen to my career? Right.
Right. And I think, I mean, without getting too far into the details of the program, it was all wrapped around scripts. And I was stuck on what were all of these incidents leading up to this, what had happened, what was in the past that was driving this fear, without being like, well, what are the next steps that I just need to take that are unrealistic? And it became very crystal clear. And then I was able to better transform just in the business sake, effective strategies to continue to level up. And I'm like, this just isn't true. Like I'm traveling much less. I'm dealing with the matter on my hands. And I'm introducing new programs, and I'm happy to say I haven't traveled this month.
You were like me. You were like the road warrior, always in the air, and you have this beautiful little girl, and oh my God, right? Yeah, this is the thing that women don't understand. Our careers can flex and move with us. And we have this rigid view of success, especially when you're driven. It's like, I'm going to take it all. I'm going to be the hero. I'm going to get it done. So when our personal life changes for whatever reason, right? We still stay, like you're saying, we give our best to the company and we stay in that box, and then we make everything else around us have to shift instead of just shifting how you're attacking your career. Like it's that simple, but it's that hard, right? Like how do you do that? How do you do that without blowing it up and all that? Jeannie, you have to share. I just hope I'm not putting you on the spot, but I am. You have to share what your husband said about your transformation. It's so awesome. What did he say?
I asked him in week 6 to share sort of before and after. And so he called me a walking time bomb and Darth Vader's evil offspring.
I'm laughing because that's something my husband would say. He'd have a Star Trek reference or Star Wars reference. Do you know what I mean?
Totally. And, you know, yeah. So, and we have that
what was going on for him? Is he just tiptoeing on eggshells around you? Because it's like, what kind of genie am I going to get in the door tonight type of thing?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It was, and he said afterwards, he's like, just the pressure inside the house is completely gone. Like it's calm. You're friendly, you're connecting with all of us. And he's like, we're just happier. Like, He's like, your mood dictates what the mood in the house is going to be.
It does. It totally does. Have Dana and Cammie, have you guys found that as well? Like, do you find yourself just more chill and happy and fun at home?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And just being able to mentally separate and step away from work and be present and have fun. And that's funny what she mentioned about what her husband said. I think for me, one of the memorable moments with my husband was sitting down at the dinner table and him saying, well, how was your day? And I said, it was great. It was not that bad. And he was like, that's the shortest answer you've ever given, because normally it's like, you know, I'm fuming with this happened and this happened. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's fine. Okay, now let's not talk about that. Let's talk about something else. So, yeah.
Mic drop, you know, stress be gone. Stress be gone. Oh, right. My God. So let me ask you guys this. What was going on for you? Because you, and I always talk about this in the terms of health. You know, if I decide that I'm going to level up my health, like you have to get to a point where you've made the decision. Do you know what I mean? So what was it for each of you where you're like, I can continue to work this way and live this way and have this sort of compromised experience in my life, or I can do something about it? Like, what was there a trigger for you? And then tell us, like, how did you feel when you first came into CW? Like, were you like, oh my God, I'm scared? Were you like, oh, I'm so relieved? Or, you know what I'm saying? So share that with Cammie. We'll start with you.
Okay. Well, I came in, I was a stalker of CWU for many months, probably 6 months or so, just watching like all of your live videos on social media and that sort of thing. And so I had a decent idea of what to expect, but it wasn't until my 45-minute call at the beginning, because I was trying to seek really sound help to help me through a specific matter. And I never felt that the resources I reached out to could really resonate to me. And then I realized that this program is all about a group of women that are like-minded individuals, and that understand and are dealing with a lot of the similar things as high-achieving women, because that was the part I felt that was lacking. And so there was a lot that just really clung on to me. So when I entered into the program, quite frankly, I was very refreshed. I was very excited and I was ready to embrace it. And it was the very first time that I was in a group of any individuals that I was comfortable talking about what I had on my plate.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, it was just a breakthrough showing up.
Wow. Wow. Cammie, thank you. No, and that, like, that's like, that means a lot to me, right? Because that's what it should be. We as high achieving women think there's something going on with us upstairs that's weird or different. Or you try to talk to your girlfriends who may not have the same level of career, and they're like, oh, calm down, you're fine. Or what's the big deal? Like, it's very difficult to find women who are not competing with each other, where you can have this honest, authentic conversation with someone who gets it. So I love that. Oh my God. Great share. Thank you for that. Dana, what about you?
Yeah, when I came, honestly, I was just seeking like help. I knew I needed something, and I had tried, you know, I'd looked at, like Cammie said, I'd looked at some other programs and didn't feel like any of them were going to give me what I needed. And then when I found CWU, I mean, it was like immediately based on just what little bit I had seen. And then I did my 45-minute call, and I knew this is going to help me get out of this hole that I'm in, because I was working based off like fear-based thoughts. And I was at burnout. I was at, should I step back? Maybe I shouldn't be managing anymore. I should just be a team member so I can actually eat dinner with my family, you know, all of those thoughts. And then when I first started the program, I was excited, but I was also just being transparent. I was going like, do I deserve this kind of attention for myself? Am I like worth this? And so, yeah, that's kind of how I started. But then at the same time, knowing that at the end of it, I was gonna come out winning for sure, and I did.
And Dana, didn't you? I think because you had your call with Jamie, I believe. I think that you didn't have it with me. And didn't she tell me? I think she told me that like your husband was in the room or he was around or something. And didn't you even like kind of check in with him and say like, "Hey, I'm gonna go for this"? And
yeah, I was like, "Can you hold on? Hey, this is the deal. This is what." He was like, "If that's what you need, go for it."
Awesome. That is so awesome. Oh my God, that's so cool. That's great. So Dana, yeah, so you were ready for a lifeline. You were like, something's got to change because this is, got it. Okay, Jeannie, what about you? That's a great share.
So I don't know how I even found CW. I'm not on social media at all. But it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and this link of a webinar of high-powered women. I have no idea how it came to me, but I feel like the universe was hearing me. And I remember listening to the webinar, and like a few minutes in, you had said a line about if you're looking to step back, quit your job, take a sabbatical, we need to talk, because that was exactly the mind frame I was in. It was either I was going to be quitting and just being a stay-at-home mom, like giving it all up, because I was done. I was more upset with myself, with how I have spent more time in my career and completely have ignored everything else. And I remember talking to Kate, and and I work in the business in terms of like career development, but it was the first time I actually talked to someone where I felt, holy crap, I can do this. I can do it all without sacrificing one or the other, because it always felt like the advice that I have been given was, well, you need to change something drastically. But it wasn't things that I was willing to, right? It was, and I definitely struggle with the all or nothing approach. And talking to Kate, and right then and there, at the end of the call, I thought, I'm going to go for it. Like there's nothing else that has gotten me this excited about the potential for what's to be in a long time. So
awesome. You were against that wall too. You were like, something's got to change, but the changes that were being offered to you, or the obvious changes, were not changes you wanted to make. It was too big a trade-off, right? Wow. You got to give it all up or whatever. Yeah. That's kind of what I always was.
And I remember that night, right. It was, and I remember that night after I had signed up, I was like, oh my God, what did I just do? Am I really investing in myself? Like, I've got to be like, no, like, this is crazy. And I remember the first session I sat in, and then we did the needs-based stuff. And I thought, oh my God, this is totally worth it. Oh, this is amazing. So
that's what we always tell everyone. Like, if you can just get into that very first one, you will, like, it's just such a relief. You're like, okay, got it. Now, you know what I'm saying? But good for you for mentioning that. I'm glad you did. That's how a lot of us women feel. Like, do I really deserve this? You know, what am I just putting more pressure on my family? Mm-hmm. Or I think why, I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but we already feel selfish. We're already not showing up for our families the way we want to, or we're already, putting stress and a toll on them. And now we're going to use financial resources to do something else for ourselves. And it feels icky. It feels like, oh gosh, but you know what it does? You show up and you get the work done because you want to say it's working. I'm going to be here and I'm going to make these changes because I'm important, but you're also doing it for them. But I don't know. Can you guys relate to that?
100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Any obstacles you guys came up with as you went through the process with us? Anything that was just, that you would share that was really hard, or you were like, oh my God, I didn't know this was going to happen, or anything like that?
For me, it was just digging into the work and not just skimming through it, but actually taking my morning time and really focusing and reflecting on, what did I just listen to? How does this apply to me? And just really spending the time. I feel like I could have just done the 20 minutes and moved on.
Sure.
But it was, that was, I would say, hard, in that there were so many other things that I knew I wanted to do in my morning sort of time for me. But it was just going back to, I am worthy. This is the gift to myself and to my family, and sticking through it, as hard as it was a couple of times, where just, all these other priorities are coming through.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Got it. So just really taking it and doing it to the level you needed, and going deep. That's what we said, like going deep, not just like checking off the box and being like, okay, I listened to that. Great. Okay. I showed up for this. Great. Like applying it. 'Cause you do have to think about, that's what's so great, is it's not cookie cutter. It's, here's your foundation, but how does it apply to you, your life and your career? So that's really was the challenge for you. and to stay committed to doing it that way. That's pretty cool. I love that. Thank you, Gina. Jeannie. Dana, what about you?
I think for me, probably the only real hurdle I had was a couple of times I got stuck on, here's the assignment I'm working on, and I can't figure out the answer perfectly, right? Like I can't get this exactly how I want it because I'm a high achieving woman, and like, here's the example and I want it to be nice and shiny, but I can't even think of an idea. So a couple of times I allowed myself to be stuck for a little too long. Yeah. And then I remember Jamie in my welcome call saying, when you get stuck, reach out for help. Like, that's why we're here. So then as soon as I reached out, you were always right there with a response that was like, why did I wait so long to ask Kate? So that was probably my only real hurdle, was my own need for perfection.
Wanting to get it right. What's the right answer? Yes.
Right.
Oh, I totally relate to that. That's me too. How, what will they think if I ask for help?
Right.
So part of our DNA. Oh my gosh, love it. Thank you, Dana. Cami, what about you?
Very similar feedback to both of the ladies. I'm always the student, always want to deliver something shiny and polished, just as, they said. And I really embraced when I got stuck. And overall, I would look at the program once I got through the materials at prioritizing my assignments and being okay with it for what I needed, like the most, right? The groundwork, the framework, and being comfortable with that, which was very uncomfortable for me to do. And so there were moments of becoming stuck. I was like, I need this more right now, and I'm going to revisit this, and I'm going to keep talking through this, and I'm going to start looking at my needs map closer, or everything else.
So like not getting caught up in I've got to be doing this every week just because that's the assignment for the week. If I need 2 weeks here, I'm going to marinate in this for 2 weeks, and giving yourself permission to say, this is what I really need. I love that.
Yeah. I love that. Was really hard for me to do, but I think it was the most rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the best advice, because it really isn't about keeping up. It's about doing what you need, but also learning, giving yourself permission to do what you needed within, what you're learning in that material. That's awesome. Okay, let's wrap it up, guys. Any advice or any, to the Jeannie, Cami, and Danas of the world who are sitting out there, who are also stalking us on social media, or who are going to watch this video or whatever, what would you say to your former self 8 to 10, 12 weeks ago, whenever it was that you started with us? Like, any advice?
Do it.
Yeah, I don't know why I stalked so long. I mean, I wish I just would have dove in deeper. Like, there was a reason why I kept dialing in or receiving the notifications for Kate Byers is going live. Like, I knew that there was something impactful waiting to happen, but I didn't dive in fast enough. And so I wish I would have done that a lot sooner.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say you deserve it. Because I think I spent so long sitting thinking, I'm not really at that level. I'm not really somebody who, deserves to pay this much attention to myself and get myself to that next level, so that would be my advice, is you deserve it. Stop pretending like you don't.
Ooh, that's powerful. That's powerful. Thank you, Dana. All of you guys. Thank you so much. Seriously, this has been, I love the transparency. I love the openness. I love doing these. You guys have all been amazing. And, truly each of you came in, I think 100% decided that something was going to change. Like, you were going to make a change because whatever was going on, that was not going to be acceptable for you and your family and your career any longer. But you were so committed and so resourceful. And like you said, you just kept adapting, reaching out for help, making, applying what we have. And then look at you guys today, calm, cool, collected, control. Oh my gosh, I love it. So happy for all of you. Appreciate you guys, spending the time and sharing this with us. You guys have been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kate.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you and the program.
Yeah.
Very much.